Austin Hill, Austin Hill, Austin Hill. Oh, Austin, King of the Hill, Bobby Hill, Austin Hill. Where do I begin with you? Oh, Sonoma's behavior was the reason that made me make this video. So, I know y'all tuned into this video, read the title, saw the thumbnail, you're wondering, what do you mean Austin Hill is failing to embrace the villain role in the NASCAR Xfinity Series? He is the villain of the series and is a bully. I'll get to the explanation. So before we get there, let's get to some context because why the hell not? So Austin Hill has been full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series since 2022, racing for Richard Childress Racing with mainly sponsored Bennett and United Rentals. Austin Hill is known for either A, being a contender in Daytona and Talladega, or B, always throwing a temper tantrum over nothing. So yeah, but this is about B, let's just say. So when it comes to Austin Hill has been a dirty driver in a NASCAR Xfinity Series. He's always roughing up other drivers. He's always like wrecking other drivers, just making contact with the other drivers and all that. But when other drivers get to him, even if it was accidental, he would throw a fit and act like he's the victim. So the point of this video is that Austin Hill is currently NASCAR Xfinity Series bully, but here's the thing. Austin Hill is failing to embrace the villain role in the Xfinity Series because of how he is. Number one, when it comes to Austin Hill messing with other drivers, yeah, that's obvious. He does that. Of course, that's a villain thing to do. But here's the thing. But when it comes to other drivers getting him back or like touching him and all that, he throws a tantrum like a big baby and acts like he's the victim. Like, oh, he can never do anything wrong. He is the angel. He is NASCAR's perfect angel and NASCAR's good boy. He thinks he's such a perfect driver that does no harm, but unfortunately, obviously, that is wrong. So Austin Hill has been Xfinity full-time for 3 seasons, and he's just been a talking to kind of driver for mainly the wrong reasons, mainly thanks to his actions on track. In 2022, I remember him punching Myatt Snider, and I think that started some people to dislike him, like in terms of like well-known to dislike station. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, so he's been through like a lot, like going after other drivers, and obviously that makes race fans and NASCAR fans not happy. But the reason why he is failing to embrace the villain role in the Xfinity Series is because he's thin-skinned. He is thin-skinned. When he came to Sonoma on Saturday, he was on a restart going against Shane Van Gisbergen. Gisbergen went up high on Austin Hill and got into the dirt, and Hill did not win the race. And when it came to the interview, he was telling his side of the story about Sonoma. And this is where the moment he failed to embrace the villain role.
Austin Hill comes home in the 5th position after battling all race long, leading a number of laps. The restart with 11 laps to go, though. We get to the top of turn 2. You heard what Shane Van Gisbergen just said. A couple of guys battling hard and they came together. What was it from your perspective?
I didn't really see the replay the best. It blacked out, but you know, I'm gonna leave it to the keyboard warriors on this one. I'll let them figure out what happened. I'm sure no matter what comment I say, it'll be wrong. So, yeah, I mean, we're sitting here watching it here. Yeah, I don't know. I plead the 5th. I'm not gonna say anything about it. We'll just go on to the next one. Good hard racing. Bennett Chevrolet was as fast as Xfinity Internet. We were holding off SVG there for a while, had that caution. I knew it was going to be tough on the restart, and didn't work out, but we had a good points day, finished in the top 5. Can't ask more than that.
Thanks, Austin.
So he brings up keyboard warriors. He is aware that he gets a lot of hate and flack on the internet, on social media, in the world of NASCAR. And that's where it fails because he's thin-skinned. He's letting a lot of people get to his head. He's even letting Shane Van Gisbergen live rent-free in his head. If you're a villain, you're supposed to take it. You're supposed to embrace it. You're supposed to be like, hey, I know I'm the villain. I know I'm a bully. But I do this because I want to win races. I want to be a contender and all that. That's what Austin Hill is failing to do because he's letting all these people get to his head, whether it's social media or other drivers. He doesn't ignore them. He just lets them get to his head. Imagine if Dale Earnhardt, he dealt with a lot of hate back then because of how he was on track. Imagine if Dale Earnhardt let the haters get to his head, bring up, oh, but you know, them haters. Guess what? Dale Earnhardt is a tough son of a bitch. As long as he hears crowd making noises, that's all he cares. Kyle Busch, when he was in his villain arc in the 18 Jogas Racing days during his big prime, or the early days for like years, Kyle knows he has a lot of haters, and he embraced the villain role. He didn't let the people get to his head. He knows that people hate him, but guess what? He does his job, he does his thing, and also the funny thing is that he also like mocks the haters, and honestly, that's one of the reasons why I love Kyle Busch. Bubba Wallace, he's not really a villain, but you know how NASCAR fans are. Anyway, so Bubba does have a lot of haters, and he knows that. And Bubba Wallace is thick-skinned, if you ask me. Same with Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt. They're all thick-skinned. Bubba's thick-skinned because he has haters, but he doesn't let them get to his head, no matter how many times he gets death threats or get called the N-word and all that stuff, all hater stuff as well. He does his thing. He does his job. He does his thing. Does what he does. And sometimes he also likes to like have fun with the haters as well. I like that as well. You know, that's what I love about drivers who are not most liked. They have fun with the haters and all that. And I'm all for that. I think it's fun to watch. Meanwhile, Austin Hill, he just lets people get to his head. And he is failing to embrace his villain role. He's just thin-skinned. Austin, if you don't want to deal with these haters like a bitch, maybe don't be a fucking asshole on track, and maybe actually take accountability. Maybe be honest, take accountability like a real man. You have balls, dude. Or, well, in this case, you have a vagina. What do I know? Anyway, not judging. If Austin Hill wants to embrace the villain role, he's gotta not let people get to his head, whether it's other drivers, whether it's social media people, whether it's haters. Maybe prove that you're doing your job, but not be a fucking asshole on track, but maybe do like a better, I don't know. Don't be thin-skinned. That's all I can say. But unfortunately, Austin Hill's a thin-skinned driver that lets people get to his head, and you can tell it gets to him because he brought it up at Sonoma. So yeah, Austin Hill has failed to embrace the villain role until he does actually embrace the villain role or take accountability of his actions, and also not let people get to his head. As of the making of the video, whatever this is gonna be uploaded, also just thin-skinned. He's a pussy. That's all I can say. What else is there to say? He's just thin-skinned. So that's going to do it for another video. I know what y'all are gonna say in the comments below. So yeah, that's gonna do it for another video. Thank y'all so much for watching. This is Ian the Motorsports Man signing off. Goodbye, everybody.